everyone, I'm Jim Edwards.
And I'm Beckie Blanton.
And we welcome you to this week's stop on the road where actually it's a return trip to the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. And of course we got Jim White, the director here. And Jim, we got a lot to talk about. But first of all, at this point of the year, do you start to see an increase in people requesting food, or where are we with that?
Well, I wouldn't say we start to see an increase, but we only have two major food drives a year.
Mm-hmm.
One in May with the postal workers and one in November with the scouts. So we're a little more than halfway through that period. So that means we've used up most of the food that we got at the last major drive, and won't be having another one for a couple of more months.
Right.
So our supplies are down, even though I wouldn't say our demand is up particularly, but it's always at this point in the year we begin to run low on food.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got food in here right now, but it's things that we're having to buy because our stocks are running low.
Right.
Now, did it help this past, I don't know which week it was, but the two schools had some competition to help you out.
We got about 1,400 pounds of food from the
great.
two schools.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for several years, but last year they didn't do anything. This year they did a fairly good job. Hopefully next year they'll get back into more of a competition. When the schools think that they might, win a little trophy, it makes some difference.
Well, I didn't hear about it with the schools till after it was over, and I had been in here and talked to you, and you had mentioned you're running low on food, and one of the teachers told me.
Right.
And, if they advertise that, people could even donate through the school, couldn't they?
But I think basically they just advertise it among the students and assume that they'll go home and tell their parents and friends and that sort of thing.
Well, I'm glad you touched on that, because I have covered a food distribution center over in Tennessee. And they have schools who just love the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, we're talking about high schools, well, mainly high schools. I don't know about elementary schools, but they bring in a lot of food. And it's so much fun. The kids, they have a little skit that they put on, and it's friendly competition. The Sullivan County schools over in Washington County, Tennessee schools, and they'll go out and see who can bring in the most. And it helps because it just fills it up. And so I would like to see the Virginia schools over here, especially in Bristol, to do that.
This was Virginia against Tennessee.
Really?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the
city schools.
For the VT game, they always have. They used to call it a food fight.
Okay.
And this time they just decided to call it a community food drive.
I see. Okay.
But a lot of the grammar schools in the area will have contests within the school to see which class can raise the most food. And we've had several to do that. Not so far this year, but we have had that in the past.
Wow,
and it
that's
helps
wonderful.
a lot.
Sure.
Helps a lot.
Right.
That would help, because they love, at that age, they really love to be the winning classroom.
Absolutely.
Right. As I'm thinking about this, and we may touch on it more as we continue with the show, as the co-producer and co-host of On the Road, I'd be willing to buy a real nice trophy and have it presented to the winning school if we can get them to cooperate and get some competition
There
going.
is a trophy.
Okay.
We already have one. We already
Okay.
have one, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we could get something else to encourage them. I'll think of something to come
Okay.
up with.
Anything
Maybe we
you
can
think
give them a
of.
$50 gift certificate or something.
Pizza always works.
Pizza always works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But that's a great idea. Let's challenge the schools right now as you're watching the show. If you'll get in touch with us, me in particular, at 423-914-2316, and let me know if you'd like to participate in this food drive for the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. And let's have some competition out there and bring in a lot of food. All you schools get involved and call me, high school, elementary, wherever you are, call me and we'll sign you up and we'll just have some friendly competition. Bring in a lot of food.
I'm not going to suggest that they do it, but we've encouraged any church in town who does not already have a collection spot in their church. Mm-hmm. Most of the churches who provide volunteers here have a place inside their church where people bring food on a regular basis.
Right.
And then when they get enough to bring over, they will do that. And as many churches as there are in Bristol, if most of them would do something like that, it'd be amazing how much food we'd have coming through those sources.
It would be great. Now, your church does that, doesn't it?
Right. I just bring it in weekly.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a large amount, but
Well, that's fine. It all adds up.
Yeah.
And big churches might bring more than small ones, but that doesn't matter. It's the amount that we get total that
Sure.
It really makes a difference to us.
You may need a 5-pound bag of food that a smaller church brings in to give you 1,000 pounds, and that works. So
Well,
absolutely.
He was showing us the shelf last time where they put things that they don't normally carry that the people can pick.
Yeah.
And there was a lady here that was very happy to get some of the stuff that was on that
great.
shelf.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, we give them a choice, and we've made a few changes in the way we hand the food out since you all were here, and we'll discuss that when we go inside.
Okay, well, speaking of going inside, you ready to go?
One more thing I want to not
sure.
forget.
All right.
This is not food, but one of our refrigerators has decided it doesn't want to work anymore.
All right. We
So
need
if
some help.
anybody has a good used refrigerator they like to donate or sell to us at a low price, we would love to have one.
Absolutely.
So, and lots of times people will decide they want to redo their kitchen, and the main reason they buy a new refrigerator is not because the old one's broken, but because it doesn't match anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't care whether it's green, purple, or red. You know, as long as it works, we'd be glad to have a good
Well,
used
now you
refrigerator.
can give them a receipt too, can't you?
Oh yes, yes. Our treasurer will be glad to give them a receipt for
Tax
or
donation?
that they can take
Yeah.
off their income tax.
Oh, great. All right. Now, remember that. Jim just said they need a refrigerator. You're talking about a huge one? Just a home size?
Well, yeah, sure. For the
Actually,
most part,
commercial size. How about
commercial would be great.
Okay.
But any size refrigerator that's in working condition, we'd be
Okay.
glad to have.
Well, now you were wanting a computer the last time.
We got one.
that? You got a
did?
computer?
Okay.
Fantastic.
We have not gotten it operating yet, but we've got it.
Good,
So
good.
we're
All right.
working
Well,
on
let me
that.
do this right here. Since it's my show and I can do what I want to with it, a commercial business out there, if you will donate to the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry, contact Jim. We'll give you his phone number in a moment. I'll be glad to come over to your business and shoot a commercial and run your commercial during our show for the whole month of October, if you'll do that. And we'll say thank you in that respect. So you commercial businesses out there, get them a big, huge refrigerator, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank
And
you.
what's your phone number, Jim?
My number is 423-571-4449.
Okay, and my show editor, my cameraman, my jack of all trades, really, James Fisher is going to put that number on the screen, and we'll mention it again before we leave the show. So, all right, again, let me say, commercial businesses out there, if you'll donate a huge cooler, refrigerator, however you refer to it, to the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry, I'll be glad to come over and shoot a commercial, and we'll run it the whole month of October free to say thank you, because we got to help the food pantry. You've got to keep stuff cool and cold.
Absolutely.
And in addition to bringing in food. All right, good deal. Oh, and by the way, don't let me forget, you also can accept monetary donations.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
No problem. As one of my board members always says, money doesn't weigh nearly as much. It's a lot easier to carry it in and out than it is.
One of the advantages about giving you money is
we
that
can
when
buy exactly what we need.
Exactly.
but then you can get more because you don't have to
Right.
pay the tax, and the stores that
Absolutely.
are running specials will allow you to have more of the
They
specials,
will.
right?
They will.
Yeah, I'm thinking that some of these food pantries mention, like, for every $1 they spend, they get like $3 or $4 worth of food or something in that. I don't know what the exact.
Well, if they're getting the government commodities.
Oh, that's right.
Which
You're
we're
right.
not eligible for.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
But this is like when you go into Food City and it says limit 10 to a customer.
Right.
If they go in, they can get as many as what they want.
Right.
For the money.
Okay,
Right.
well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
It is.
Okay, very good. All right, now we're going to move inside and talk about some more of the activities here at the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry.
Okay.
All right, let's go. The Boat Doctors on Volunteer Parkway, Bristol, Tennessee is offering $1,500 off all in-stock Hurricane deck boats. Get a free trailer valued at $3,600 with the purchase of a new Berkshire pontoon in fishing, entertainment, and family models powered by Yamaha outboard engines. Or deduct the value of the trailer from the price of the pontoon. Save thousands of dollars with boat show prices every day at the Boat Doctors, 2528 Volunteer Parkway, next to Twin City Drive-In Theater, Bristol, Tennessee. Call the Boat Doctors at 423-574-2628.
Hello, and welcome to Village Drapery. Let's go on a tour of our store. Here is our selection of grommet panels. We have 6 styles to choose from, all at $19.99 per panel. Looking for valances and top treatments? Try our large selection. We still sell pinch-pleated draperies and the hardware as well. Village Discount Drapery, 215 Raytheon Road, Bristol, Tennessee.
We've moved inside, and we're going to find out more about the operation here at the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. But the last time we were here, Becky touched on some empty shelves, and of course you want to pick it up from there and mention what you were talking about.
These are the shelves right here that I was speaking of, where when you have just 1 or 2 items of something that isn't normally carried by the food pantry, they will sit them here, and then when a client comes in and they see something on the shelf, they can request that they be given, let's see, what's on there.
Well, we've got Rosarita, refried beans.
Somebody might want the refried beans.
Always
Cranberry sauce.
always
Yeah.
cranberry
Cranberry
sauce.
sauce.
Usually things like black beans and black-eyed peas, and then all these little sauce packages that you can mix in with whatever, seasonings.
And you mentioned that Shearer's had brought you quite a few
We
packets
have quite
of
a few
chips.
packs of chips of various varieties, and we're just putting them out here for people to choose them if they want, as long as they last. And
So don't think just because you have 1 can of something that you shouldn't send it in. It might
Absolutely.
be the very thing that somebody is wanting.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Really?
absolutely. Sure.
Right.
Okay.
And people will periodically say, do you have any, of so-and-so?
Uh-huh.
And if it's something that we normally give out, of course, that's no problem. But we get very few condiments. I'm not really requesting those especially, but things like mustard and ketchup and mayonnaise and salad dressings and salt and pepper and, that we don't normally carry, go in a hurry. We did keep them on this shelf for a little while, but they went so quickly that we moved them to another shelf, and then if somebody says, do you have this particular item, and we've got it, we're glad to give it to them.
Okay.
At this moment, we're in pretty good supply of dog and cat food that has been donated to us, but that does not happen on a regular basis that we have it. I mean, it gets donated to us on a regular basis, but the Holly Help Spay and Neuter
Oh yeah, Sue Williams Group. Yeah.
bring over stuff periodically, and they bring it as often as they've got it available, but usually we give it away before they get back with some more.
Now, is this something that just started as an extension of the food pantry with dog and cat food? Was it a request, or how did you come up with that idea?
They contacted us some time ago and said, would we be interested in distributing it for them? And I said, of course. So
Your dog or cat's part of your family.
right, right. And
Here we
if
go.
people don't have anything to feed themselves, they most
Sure.
likely don't have anything for their pets
But
either.
they'll feed their pets before they feed themselves.
This is sometimes true.
You're right. Sometimes that's true. I've heard about that. Yeah. Now, when we get to the point of where people want to donate something and they want to bring it over here, is there specific times and days to bring it?
Well, we're open on a normal basis every weekday from 1 to 4. And so they can bring it any time during those regular periods. If they want to contact me on the phone number it was given earlier, and it probably will be given again,
Oh yeah.
we'll be glad to make special arrangements to meet somebody here. But it's just easier for them probably if they come while we're during our regular work hours.
Okay, and I would suggest also to be sure that the monetary donations get here too. Folks come through those during those same hours and make write a check or
Or
cash
they
whatever.
can mail them to our
Or can
post
mail.
office box.
Okay.
And
it
what
is?
is-
That's post office box is 1471 Bristol, Virginia 24203.
Ah, okay.
So that'll go straight to our treasurer and no problem at all. But if they want to bring the check by here, we'll be glad to take it.
Sure. And the tax receipt can be picked up here at the time of the donation, or somebody
No,
mails something
at the end of the year.
At the end of the year.
End of
Okay,
the
I'm
year,
with
she
you. Yeah.
sends them out. Everybody who has given a donation over a
okay.
certain amount, they have to be a certain amount before they're
Good
allowed
point.
to do
So-
that.
Yeah, because I was about to confuse everybody.
So I was going to say that if they are expecting a receipt, make sure that their address is on there, because
Yes.
Absolutely.
it is very frustrating to have to make that up and then no way to get it to them.
Yeah, that's true.
And that does happen to us occasionally.
yes, it does.
Most of the time, if people send a check, it will be on the check itself.
Yeah.
But we have gotten envelopes with cash in them, which is not a good idea
No, it's not a
probably
good
anyway
idea,
to
but,
mail it that way.
I mean, thank you, but don't usually don't
But
do that.
if all they say is, this is from John Brown
Yeah.
and nothing else,
And
then,
nothing, yeah, sure.
it makes it a little bit difficult for us.
Yeah. Okay. I want to be sure that folks understand that this is an ongoing need. The Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. It's not seasonal, is it? Because we had touched on that. I mean, this is something you need all the time. It sort of maybe increases or slacks off a little bit at times, but for the most part, you need something every day, every week.
I don't remember the exact months, but I picked out the 4 greatest months, and they're not all in one section of the seasons. You know,
Yeah.
one of them's probably March or something, and a couple of them are in the middle of the summer, maybe, and one in the fall. So the demand is pretty much, it does fluctuate, but overall it's pretty steady.
Is this a little bit early this year that the need has hit so hard and would normally hit about October?
I wouldn't think so, no.
No.
By this time we're usually beginning to run low.
So you have 6 to 8 weeks before you have a good food drive, though.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to have a major food drive in a few weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. But right now, leading up to that, people still need to bring stuff in. Because I don't want to get in their mind, well, they're going to have a big one in 6 weeks or whatever, so I'll just wait. Don't wait. Bring it now and then come back and bring more. I mean,
You wouldn't want to do without food for 6
no,
weeks, would you?
absolutely not. No.
Well, even if we get lots and lots of stuff in November, that will only last for a certain period of time. We've never had enough food come in on a food drive that we didn't have to ask for some more between that time and the next one. So I don't think that's going to change right away.
Now, what is the process for folks to be able to receive food? Is there an application process?
They must go by one of several places to get a food voucher first. If they live in Bristol, Virginia, it's a little difficult right now because the Bristol Department of Social Services is no longer writing vouchers. We discussed that, I think, when you all
we
were here.
did.
You did.
They
You're
were
right.
just stopped at doing that.
Yeah.
So they were the major writer for most of Bristol, Virginia. So now, if you live in Bristol, Virginia, you must go to Bristol Faith in Action or to the United Way.
Okay.
If you're a client at People Incorporated, you can get a voucher from them, but you have to already be a client there. If you live in public housing on either side of town, you can get a voucher from your caseworker. If you have a Bristol, Virginia address but live outside the city, you can go to the Washington County Department of Social Services up near Exit 10.
I see. Okay.
Tennessee side, we've got Department of Human Services, the Tennessee Community Support, but you have to be a client there, and the Bristol Neighborhood Service Center, in addition to Bristol Faith in Action and the United Way.
Okay.
So let me make sure that everybody understands, and I do too. If you live in Bristol, Tennessee, you can still come to Bristol, Virginia Emergency Food Pantry and get food if you need it. Okay.
Bristol, Bluntville, or Bluff City address.
Okay.
Bristol, Virginia, inside or outside the city limits.
Right. Okay. All right. Now, I can't stress enough how important it is to donate on a regular basis. We're at the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. This is on the road with Becky and Jim, and we're coming into a season, and I want to touch on that in just a second. But give us your phone number again, Jim, because I want people to understand how to get in touch with you for monetary donations, for food donations, and other information.
The number is 423-571-4449. I think that number is also on our website.
Okay.
There's actually a number listed in the phone directory now. It's my home number. I won't give that out because if you want to look it up in the phone book, you can find it there.
Right, okay.
Well, give us your website.
It's just Bristol Emergency Food. I don't know the whole thing.
I'm sorry.
Just Google Bristol Emergency
Bristol
Food Pantry,
Emergency,
yeah. James is good. He'll look it up.
probably .org, I think.
Yeah,
somebody else set it up for us, and I'm not a computer person, so I don't remember all of that.
All right. I want to say this again. The Bristol Emergency Food Pantry is in really bad need of a refrigerator. Really, what we'd like to have is a big cooler to put a whole lot more in there. So I'll make this offer again. Any commercial business out there that would be willing to donate a unit to the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry, I'm talking about a huge cooler, I'll be glad to come over and shoot a commercial free, and then we'll run a commercial for your business for the whole month of October, or the month that you choose. Let me put it that way. Absolutely free if you will donate such to the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. So get in touch with me right away at 423-914-2316. We've got to help them. We've got to keep cool milk, eggs, cheese, butter, etc. And get that done right away if you will, please.
I'll jump on the tail end of that and say, don't take it for granted that some business is going to do this. So if there is an individual out there who has a refrigerator that they want to donate, call him with that information
too.
Because If we get more than one, that'll just be better.
That's what I was going to say.
Well,
If you got two, that then you could really go ahead and
Absolutely.
get stocked up.
That's a good thought because, although a commercial business, if you'll help find, but individuals, if you got like a small fridge or, well, a home-sized
Sure.
fridge, and it doesn't matter if you're changing your decor in a different color, bring it. I don't care if it's purple, orange, green, or a combination thereof.
The only ones that we have now are regular home-style refrigerators.
Yeah, okay.
We're-
And so, so 3 or 4 of you out there, you can use 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah,
If,
we can always
if you want
use
to
plenty.
donate them. And you do get a receipt for a tax donation.
Mm-hmm.
And so help us out. We're at the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. They need a cooler, 2 or 3 refrigerators, or a big, huge commercial size. Now, we're going to move out to the big warehouse and show the folks where the food is stored until it's out of here and sort of go over the process.
Okay.
All right, let's
Go.
head that way.
Hi folks, Jonathan here for Sexton's Used Cars, and if you're in the need for speed, Sexton's Used Cars is the place to be. We've got some beautiful sports cars from domestic to import, like the 2000 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP supercharged, fully loaded for only $49.95, or how about the 2001 Hyundai Tiburon, beautiful car, 5-speed for only $29.95, or we've got a beautiful, beautiful 94 Ford Mustang GT 5.0 5-speed with only 79,000 original miles. Come in and see me for price and details. So call, click, or come in and see me and Mike here at Sexton's Used Cars, located on the corner of West State Street and 12th, Bristol, Tennessee, and buy you Nexton from Sexton.
Hello, and welcome to Village Drapery. Let's go on a tour of our store. Here is our selection of grommet panels. We have 6 styles to choose from, all at $19.99 per panel. Looking for valances and top treatments? Try our large selection. We still sell pinch-pleated draperies and the hardware as well. Village Discount Drapery, 215 Raytheon Road, Bristol, Tennessee.
The Boat Doctors on Volunteer Parkway, Bristol, Tennessee is offering $1,500 off all in-stock Hurricane deck boats. Get a free trailer valued at $3,600 with the purchase of a new Berkshire pontoon in fishing, entertainment, and family models powered by Yamaha outboard engines. Or deduct the value of the trailer from the price of the pontoon. Save thousands of dollars with boat show prices every day at the Boat Doctors, 2528 Volunteer Parkway, next to Twin City Drive-In Theater, Bristol, Tennessee. Call the Boat Doctors at 423-574-2628. We've moved out to the big warehouse, I guess we could call it, here at the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. I'm Jim Edwards, along with
Beckie Blanton.
and Jim White, and Jim is the director of the food pantry, and this is On the Road. And we've been talking about food needs, monetary donations. You did mention, Jim, that you did get a computer donated.
We did.
And you've got someone in training or getting ready to train how to use it.
Right.
All right. We mentioned about the shelves out here, and you said that they are almost empty, and some
you
of them
can see.
are. There's one that James is going to show, the row of them that is empty, and we need to fill these back up. And although when we pan back around and you see some food on these shelves here, and you think, well, they got a lot of food. Well, that a lot of food won't be here much longer because, like you said, you're open every day. Was it Monday through Friday, 1 to 4?
Well, he also mentioned that this is the food that they've had to go out and buy in order to stock
Good
the
point.
shelves.
Yes, definitely. So this is very important that you make those monetary donations so that they will have the money to buy the food that they have to buy. And your donations are definitely needed on a regular basis, but also remember they have to buy some of it. So please help with your monetary donations and bring your dollars, your checks. Come over here. Or Mel, what's the post office box again?
Post office box number again is 1471 Bristol, Virginia 24203. And as far as monetary donations are concerned, that is very important. Last year we spent almost $120,000
Oh my
buying
goodness!
food.
Wow.
We had about $350,000 to $75,000 worth of, well, we estimated the food to be worth that much.
Yeah.
And then we bought another $119,000 worth. So
My goodness. Well, now, where did you get the money to pay for that? Do you get any kind of grants
we
from anybody?
get some grants locally. We have a lot of churches who give us money on a regular
Thank
basis.
you, churches, always.
Yeah. And plus a lot of individuals who just, make a regular a habit of bringing us money at least once a year or
Well,
month
people
or
don't
whatever.
have to feel like they have to give a large amount. $5 even will
Absolutely.
add up.
It
to-
adds up after a while.
Sure.
And I've had people come in with small donations and apologize to me for not having any
Oh,
more than
no.
that, you know, and we say, no, you know.
Yeah.
We're glad for any donation, and $5 is $5 more than we had before they got here,
Sure.
you know, so we're always glad to take donations of any size.
Exactly, that's true. So remember that, everybody. You don't have to be ashamed or say I'm sorry for bringing $5 or $1. It all adds up and it helps. So get on over here and help out with the money to help buy the food too.
Or if-
go ahead.
If you only bring, you know, 1 or 2 cans of stuff, that's still,
Yes.
you know, that's great.
Yes, absolutely.
If everybody did that, you know, we'd be in good shape.
Can you imagine 500 people bringing 2 or 3 cans of food? You can think how fast it would fill this place up. But just whatever you can bring it. The Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. What is the physical address here, Jim?
21 Washington Street.
Okay, and that's
It's right across the railroad track from the railroad station.
right. I was getting ready to say.
And just beyond the Bristol sign.
Yeah.
If you go under the Bristol sign going east, take the first left and you're there.
You're there, right?
It's right there.
Okay. Now, I think there's a misconception, and I may have touched on it before, but I want folks to understand, just because we're coming into the holiday seasons, there's not a need. I mean, don't stop bringing food over here because you say, well, this church, this organization's giving out food baskets, turkeys, etc., hams, whatever. That's okay, great, keep doing it. But don't forget the Bristol Emergency Food Pantry. Yours is an ongoing need.
Absolutely. Those are for a day or a couple of days, you
Yeah.
know, that people get food for Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But all that space in between there is still empty.
Yeah.
And lots of times the people are empty.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when
come
you
here.
get that turkey, you know, you may eat off of it a couple of days, but that is a special occasion
Yeah.
type thing that here at the food pantry, we cannot give out things like that. We
Right.
have to help people maintain their daily lives of feeding their kids and themselves.
And this is an emergency food pantry.
Right, yeah.
And so it's for people who are in a particular emergency at that time. And we can only give them enough food to last them for a few days, you know, to tide them over until.
Now, you said that they can come every 2 weeks, is it?
No, they can get a voucher once a month.
Once a month.
Once a
Okay.
month.
All right.
We'd like to do better than that, but we're afraid if we start giving it out too frequently, somebody's going to end up getting left out
Sure.
altogether.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we'd like to
yeah.
make sure that everybody gets at least some food if they need it.
And you base the amount that you give out on the number in the household.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
yes.
going to be my next question. Good one. Way to go. You're doing better. And we
Well,
can
thank you,
actually hear, I
Jim.
think, James. But that was going to be a question that, depending on how many's in the family, determines how much they get. And again, want to stress that it's once a month with a voucher.
Right.
We thank you for being with us. Thank you, Jim. It's always a
Thank
pleasure.
you folks
and
very much.
We'll stay in touch with you. You stay in touch with us. And as the need arises, you let us know. We'll be back.
We'll do it.
All right. In the meantime, for On the Road, I'm Jim Edwards.
And I'm Beckie Blanton.
And we'll be looking for you next week somewhere on the road.